Hi, I'm Patrick Handler. I'm partner of INNOCAD Architecture in Graz. And actually, I've been the lead architect for this project. It's the head office of a real estate company based in Graz. Graz is the second city in Austria. It's surrounded on 3 sides with mountains. So there is only one main direction for future developments up to the south. Right in the center, there is a beautiful old town that's protected by the UNESCO. And right between the old center and the airport, there is our site in this main developing area. It's part of a bigger development site where housing and mixed use is developing right in the moment. And our site is right at the southern end. We had to share the site with a parking that is run by the city for park and ride. We had to keep distances. So this was our site exactly. And we decided to keep some beautiful old trees at the south side. So the footprint of our building was exactly a square. And like a strange coincidence, the logo of the company we were working for is a square with some algorithmic curves inside. So we tried to implement this logo that not only stands, but also stands for the values of this company that combines groundedness with lightness and persistence with dynamics. Okay. We had to scale it and then we put it into 3D and got exactly what we needed. A 7-story building, and the height that was allowed is exactly for 7 stories, so we had a perfect cube. We put a raster of 1.3 to 1.3 meters over the whole building that gives a perfect structure for different use and functions. We surrounded it with a glass facade to get the light in the deep depth of the building. And overall, we covered it with kind of a grid or a porch of a concrete structure. And altogether, the whole building floats over public space. And an important part of the whole concept is the textile sun shading that gives life to this facade. For the inner functionality, the heart and the core of the whole thing is a void that follows the curves and connects the whole space from top to the base. The construction is rather easy and simple. And in the center there are 3 cores where the office facilities are centered. We did some zoning in there. The gray area shows the main circulation and communication area. And altogether, this builds a kind of hybrid functionality where those contrasts that form the building develop. We decided to have the customer's floor in the center of the building so that the ones taking care of the customers always only have to go at most 2 floors up or down to meet the customers. At the base, there's the entrance and the public floor, and at the top there is an event and social area that we gave to the use of the employees. So the most precious area can be used by the employees for socializing, for kitchen, for preparing the meals, and so on. I rushed through the through the floor plans. This is the entrance area with the public space all around. The standard floor where you see the zoning, the porch all around, the working space, and in between the courtyard for communication and circulation. This is the floor for the customers with the meeting facilities. And the top of the house with the event and social area and the large rooftop terrace. You see the transition of the different functions and areas, the porch on the outside, the working area, and in the center, the courtyard for communication. You see the sun shading is an important part of the facade. And from the rooftop, you have a lovely view of the north of Graz. We decided to keep this cube kind of floating over the public space. The building changes its views over the daytime, and in the evening it really gets transparent and open. This is a view through the porch, an outside area for working, recreation. This is a part of the working places, working spaces. The entrance. You can see the void of the atrium coming down all to the base. And this atrium connects all the floors, right from the top with a glazed roof down to the base. And we played with those contrasts of the cubic structure and those organic forms. There's an internal staircase which connects the different floors to each other. And well, the event space and the social area. The rooftop terrace, it also hosts events from that company. And believe me, they are really party animals. It's hard to keep up with them. The employees, they use it for yoga lessons, for example, birthday parties, and that's how it looks like when they're watching soccer. In this case, Korea leads 2-0 to Germany. Sorry for that, our German colleagues. In this short time lapse, you see how the building communicates with its surroundings by the different views that are created by the sun shadings, opening and closing. An interesting thing about a project like this is that with a building like this, it was possible to create something of a built identity for that company. For them, it was a huge change of culture, of communicating, of flattening hierarchies, of changing their communication with each other, finding other visions for their work. So we're very happy to be able to do this, and it really changed the way they behave, and how they use it and how they do their business. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it's quite a statement, of course. We're the second carving out this afternoon, I'd say, although in a quite different way. So I'm wondering, this use of this literal use of the logo, and in this case in the floor plan, what kept you from actually trying to cut the building diagonally, like the previous speaker did, for example. I mean, what's the meaning? What's the real meaning of the logo in relationship to the office?
It's a good question, and actually, we wouldn't need the logo. Even if they change the logo today, it wouldn't change anything for the building, because this building and these contrasts, they are kind of their DNA. They are very grounded. They come from the neighborhood here, from those mountains I showed you on the first picture. So they are very down to earth, our clients. On the other hand, they now produce about 1,000 flats a year with an easiness that amazes, and they calculate very conservatively and take a lot of risks for the projects. So it comes out of their values to give them a building that combine those contrasts, like curves and cubic forms. It's not just about the icon or the logo. It's out of their personalities and the character of the company.
Yeah.
So I would probably say the same thing that I might say to students. Can you tell me what the big idea was? Because I'm not seeing it.
The big idea is to have to build an anchor point in this area. It's a quite mixed use area with farming, with small houses, with industry. It's next to one of the biggest accesses by a road to Graz. So we wanted to have one building that is communicating there, that has a strong but a calm form, and that's why we choose that.
I think the building is very interesting because it starts with a very powerful proposition, a very strong geometrical idea, a very strong geometrical choice, which is likewise tectonic. It expresses very well its structural. It creates a cubical structural, which is so potent that it can really take in any slices or any alterations that you can work inside, or the suppression of the outside screens, or the differences in the coloring of the building during the phases of the day. So I think that comprises, that is in line with one of the basic conditions of architectural creation, which is to resolve your instincts, your instinctual approaches to design in a not that I'm pretending to be a repeater of Le Corbusier, but in a formal way where the actual building procedure dominates the statement.
Do you have a question also, or Lee, you just hit the microphone, so you
I don't have questions.
You can hit the microphone.
My remark is like you start with a very rational cube. I think that's the decision of having that cube is very straight, but to make a cube delightful is very challenging, and I think the solution is very delightful. And especially the make use of the buffer zone between what is inside and what is outside, and making this double skins is a very interesting one.
We are thinking about much of fractal theory and what it does to people. Scientists found out that those fractal structures are part of natural systems. If we look at them, it calms us down. We define it as a kind of beauty.
Yeah.
And we have kind of tried to implement kind of those mechanisms as well in this building with repeating forms like squares and cubes in different forms and scales. So you can find similar forms in different scales that connect.
Yeah, my only holding back is a little bit about the inconsistency of the exterior and the curve. I think the curve line is a little bit too intentional to make a difference. I think there's simple ways for me.
Yeah, it's evolving from the ground there. It's very small.
Please use the microphone.
Sorry.
So the back of
At the ground floor, on the first floor, it's a very small opening, and it goes up to the rooftop just to provide that enough light comes in.
To come back to Leslie's question, we talk now a lot about formal aspects of the building. You say this is a developer making a lot of buildings. In that sense, it's a pretty conventional building still, isn't it? In the way it's being used, or
not for them.
Not for them.
It was a huge step. To have a building like that with an open structure, for example, and those connected spaces in the inside. This really meant, quite the change in the culture that they are working.
So the openness itself is maybe, if I may help you, the big idea.
They are mostly dealing with housing and real estate dealing with housing. They like balconies, so that's another reason.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.